Hello and welcome everyone. How are you today? Thank you for joining me here on Gastric Sleeve Pal. It's questions and answers that I've seen coming up time and time again regarding hair loss. When you are having a weight loss surgery, your body goes through massive changes and it becomes very confused. And there are certain things. Hello, I've got two people watching me at the moment. Come and say hi to me. Thank you for joining me. Hair loss, talking about hair loss this week. So I started to get hair loss myself. It wasn't huge, a lot, but I did have some. And when I say not a lot, washing my hair in the shower, suddenly the water's not going down the plug hole because it's got a little layer of hair. Not clumps, wasn't pieces just coming out. It was just kind of like you'd rub your hair and it would shed. You know, a bit like a dog that sheds its hair or something like that, you know. And probably about the size of my middle finger, as in if I gathered it together and rolled it into a bit of a cigarette or cigar sort of shape, about that sort of amount. Not every day, and I would actually say don't overwash your hair because that's not going to help. And also, I was just careful, you know. I live in a very hot country and I'm in the mountains and we get severe sort of weather, extremes of weather, whether it's really cold and where it's extremely hot. So I protected my hair with a hat in the sun and tried to make sure that I wasn't colouring it too much, although I did not want to go into not colouring my hair. I like my hair blonde, you know, and the highlights. So I was sensible and did things like making sure I was trying to protect it. I used some argan oil, which I haven't actually put on here, but I have got some shampoos that I want to recommend for you and things that I did. Now, if you'd like me to, I'll also do a little Q&A about some wigs because I did purchase some wigs because I wanted it to be that I had the opportunity, if I was feeling a bit miserable about the fact that my hair wasn't sitting right or doing what I wanted it to do. You know, sometimes it did feel a bit patchy. And my hair loss actually seemed to happen all around my ears and the widow's peak. So here, all around here, and it's just starting to grow back. Can you see that's new hair? And this is, you know, in 2.5 years. Didn't lose a lot, but you can see it's fluffy, you know. Same on this side, you know, just. And I used to have my hair here, and that's hair loss. It can be upsetting, but I just thought, well, hair grows back, you know, it's one of those things. Don't be too harsh with it. So, yes, I did colour my hair, be gentle with that. I didn't blow dry it unless I really needed to. You know, I was going out and I wanted it to look nice, maybe for an evening. If I was going shopping, I'd just kind of let it dry on its own. It depends what you do for your job, doesn't it? If you're showing up on the screen and you don't want your hair to look like a haystack or whatever, I totally get it. So that's why I got the wigs. It's very hot here. I hadn't factored into the fact that the heat would actually make it almost unbearable to wear a wig. So it's the pros and cons. But the wigs are fabulous and there was so much fun and I did enjoy wearing them and I still do. I think they're like a bit of a fashion accessory. You know, if you suddenly want to actually say, gosh, you know, I want to be a different sort of colour or different style or have my hair longer. So first of all, I had my hair cut. And my hairdresser advised me to have it done in a bob, which would give it a chance to thicken up. He also gave me a razor cut, which gave it texture. Okay, so what kind of things did I take? Well, first of all, you're on your vitamin every day for the rest of your life. And throughout this period of time, I took this. Take any one. I just kind of, you know, wanted to find something to show you. I took that, and for me personally, what I would do is, I think it was about 30 in my jar. I'd take those 30, and then I would write down when I got to the end of that jar, and I'd stop for 2 weeks or even 4 weeks, and then I started again. So biotin, and I did that up until last month, because all of a sudden I could feel, as I was washing my hair or drying my hair, I'd got far more hair than I had before. So I have very fine hair, and I've always had a lot of hair, and my hair is, it's very, very fine in texture. So it's quite noticeable for me that there was a lot less of it. But as I said, I just thought, well, you know what, I'm not going to turn around and not colour my hair, and I'm not going to turn around and walk around with what felt like, this is just how it felt to me, because it was kind of thin here. Felt like it was like a mop or spaghetti kind of coming from the top. And underneath that, it felt, as if I just got like spaghetti and nothing to kind of, I don't know, support it, scaffold it underneath, as it were. Okay, so he cut it into this style for me. First of all, it was this side. He cut it as in, so it's like this on both sides, and then he said to me, "Why don't you try something different? Let's go for it. Your face is thinner now, and I think it'll look nice." So yeah, I went for it and had that, and I'm kind of debating. I'm starting to grow out this side, and so eventually you can see it's a bit thinner here. You can see, and the other thing I would say to you, notice that my roots are darker. I do that deliberately because it gives it depth. If it's all just one colour, it doesn't give it that feeling of depth or fullness. So what I do is have highlights, and I do the root colour, or my hubby does it, or I have it done at the hairdresser's myself, and I make that my, I'm like a light reddish brown, verging on grey, so that's the way I colour mine. So the cut, don't try and keep going along if it's all too thin and it's not looking well and make it miserable. Do look at wigs. Let me tell you what I did with the first wig. I looked on eBay for new but second-hand wigs. You might go, what's that about? A lot of people do actually buy wigs and find that it's the wrong colour or the wrong style for them, and they are boxed in, the exact packaging that they came in, and you just bid for them. There's plenty out there. There's also party wigs, but they are a bit exactly that, party. They're nylon and they're not very nice, but I'll be showing you those and some that I did. And there's a great site called Patty's Pearls. She's an American lady, and she's just, you'll fall in love when you watch her. She's on YouTube. Oh, amazing. And she suits every style, every colour, and every sort of opportunity to show you how she's passionate. You'll feel her passion, and she loves it. She loves sharing it, and she's really good at it. So I would actually say go and watch her, because she's a lot of fun. And another lady I'd recommend to go and have a look at, who's an absolute darling, is Sugar, Puff and Fluff. I'm sorry about my dog. I'm just going to let him out. Otherwise we're going to get this all the way through. Shush. Nobody asked you, mister. So Sugar, Puff and Fluff, what does she do? She actually has reviews of wigs because she likes them as fashion accessories when she has a bad hair day. And that's not because she's losing hair, that's just simply because she's got the opportunity to actually say, here's a lot of fun, and here's me wearing a wig. So today, what have I got for you? Subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it. The only way I can keep making content for you is to actually have your subscriptions, so that I can continue making content. It takes a lot to put a video together. You know that I've got Facebook, and you know that I'm on Instagram, and you know that I've got the YouTube channel, and we've done support group, and it's all time. And while I'm doing that, I'm not able to work and earn a living. So if you can subscribe, then I can actually pull away and make more content for you and do less of my paid job, because I'm being monetized by YouTube. So that's my plan. I'm being totally transparent with you. And this week, by the way, do want to let you know that we have Zoom going on with my doctors here in Turkey, Professor Bulbulair. He's going to be with me, and so is Dr. Manny, and so are the 2 dietitians. Now, this is not a hard sell. It's not what we're interested in. What we're interested in is giving you the information that you need for yourself to put something together where hopefully someone's taken the time and the trouble to answer your questions so you're confident about the choices you make. The reason I would recommend them is, my mum's not very well at the moment. My dad actually said, can't we fly over to Turkey? She's just not well enough to actually be with my surgeon. It's nothing to do with having a sleeve. It's just that she's in very capable hands. So it's things like that. Right, let's show you what I use to actually create volume, okay? You can use any, but John Fried is just what I can get here, and I know that this actually works, so I'm recommending it. So here is the shampoo that I use when I'm looking to create volume, and I use the shampoo and the conditioner. I didn't use it all the time. I'm somebody that believes that if I'm going out, this is what I'm going to use because I want my hair to look good and I actually want to have volume. I think if you're using it all the time, you'll see what I mean in a minute. Your hair is not getting a chance to actually repair itself. Now, there's nothing wrong with this shampoo. That's not what I'm trying to say. This is to make it look good. This is to make it feel good, okay? And I've used that today. And so if I just come off there, you can see here's my hair, there's the fullness, there's the volume, and all that. I'm no good at blow drying. I've done that in like 10 minutes before I came on for this video. So just to say to you, that's what I used John Fried this morning. Okay, so let me take you a little bit further. So it's a light sort of shampoo. It's see-through, it's transparent. So therefore, it's kind of allowing you to, it feels lovely and soft, it creates what you want, okay? And I've put a little notice there. It's what I use to make my hair look full of volume, and it feels really nice. I also use this. This is a serum, and that creates volume. And that creates volume for me on the crown, and that's where I put it because, let me show you, just 2 little pumps of that. If I want volume here, you see, on that hair, do that. That's what that is. I've only put it on there. There's no point putting it here. I don't need volume there, and I don't really want this being a bouffant here, so I don't bother there. So just a tiny little sort of squirt, little pump, comes out like tiny little worms, 1, 2, that's all I need. Depends on the length of your hair, depends on the style of your hair. Okay, so that's what I'm using as the serum. So that creates that volume even more so that you can then go ahead and blow dry. And of course, if you want to use a mousse or whatever, a shine or a heat protector, do so. I started using a heat protector too because it's like, God, what little bit I've got. And I wasn't bored, you see, through my photos all the way through. There's nothing there. And I'd tell you if I'm wearing a wig, I don't think I've had any photos taken for Gastric Sleeve Pal where I was wearing a wig. I'll pop one on next week and we'll have a look at that. So that's the serum. I hope that helps you. This is what I use. I haven't used that today, but that's what I use if I want to create texture. Where you want it to look choppy and full. And you see, that's giving your hair much more depth, and it's giving you something to scaffold your hair with. It's creating texture. Use any one you want. I'm just kind of showing you that's consistency. It's not. I find gels almost stick the thin, fine hairs together and just don't work for me. They might have done when I've got fine hair, as I said, but when I had more hair, I've got a lot of hair, but it's fine normally. At the moment, it's growing back. It's nearly there, but it's still not quite back to how it used to be. But yeah, I would use a matte sort of putty type paste. This is the one I happen to use. I know it says men, but I just happened to find that it did what I wanted it to do. So that's how it is for me. Please do comment if there is something that you would like to ask me. At the moment, we are going through hair, and this is what I used personally in my journey. And then we've got this. Somebody gave me this, hairdresser friend of mine, and this is for before you actually shampoo your hair. I can tell you it's amazing. So it doesn't make your hair look amazing, it's actually how it feels. You know, what I've just shown you with John Frieda there with the shampoo and the conditioner and the serum can get your hair looking good. It creates volume, so it's how it looks. This is something that actually had a huge impact on how it felt and how I was going forwards with the growing, the regrowth, the feeling of fullness. It actually created almost like a hair had lifted or knitted together. Couldn't style it that great with it. I wouldn't just use them. So it's anything to do with styling. It's actually to do with treatment. So can you see on there, I've got for natural thinning hair on the label, and it's got all these ingredients in to actually help regrowth and to help your hair feel thicker. Okay, not volume, to feel thicker. Almost like what you've got being spun together. You know, it's almost like casting, you know, like candy floss. Imagine that, just spinning something, yeah? And I know it doesn't come out looking like a ball, but that's the kind of feeling on the roots while I was actually using that, and use that before your shampoo, okay? So that's before shampoo, and then the shampoo that I use as recommended to me by my hairdresser. I'm sure there's lots out there. I'm not trying to promote this one. Nobody's paying me, nothing. I just want to share what I personally used, what I knew was working for me. And this was £10, and I still got this, and I bought that April 2018. So here we are, you know, almost at the end of June in 2020. Still got a tiny bit left, don't need a lot. Just be careful with this particular one. It's got menthol in it. I don't know if yours will have menthol in it, but that's kind of something you just want to keep it away from your eyes. Just feels a little bit sort of like, smarty. So just a tingling sensation around your eyes. So if you can, just try and keep it away if you use this particular one. But this was fantastic. This has really helped. I could feel, again, the fact that I was feeling fuller, no volume. Now, I want to say that if I used the Redken and the Insight, as you can see on the screen, I tended not to style my hair on those days. I would actually use it like a treatment and just say, right, that's it. It's been gentle. I'm not going anywhere. It's a bit flat. It's a bit lifeless. You know, it's not got volume. It doesn't look amazing. But I can feel that this is making a difference. So when I did a treatment of these two, of using the Redken and then this fortified shampoo, I just wouldn't blow dry my hair. You can, and if I did, it looked amazing. But I just wanted to give my hair a rest and go, you know what, don't want to be doing too much with that. So then, what have I got for you? So there's the two together, yeah, both of them. That's what I'd use, and that would be my treatment for hair loss. It really, really worked. There is the actual volumizer gel for yourself, okay, as in, and I found that serum brilliant because it just lifted the roots and did the job. It's done it today for me, as I said, blasting. Now, this is something that I found, believe it or not, when I was having my surgery, I've included this because it was a real find. Using dry shampoo when I was in hospital, because my surgery, they kept me in for 6 days, and that's the norm with my professor and surgery that I had here in Turkey. Again, I'm just going to remind anybody, there is a Zoom meeting if you've got any questions. Surgeons are talking to you, kind of tell you how things work, blood tests, all that kind of thing, what will happen on day one, when you'll have your surgery, various questions about the diet and all the rest of it that they will recommend to you. There's no pre-liquid diet, as in, unless you've got a BMI of over 50 with my particular surgeon. and there's pickup service and drop-off service to the airport. They're 10 minutes away from Antalya Airport. So I'm just having a sip of coffee. I'm getting a little bit croaky, sorry. So when I was having my surgery, I couldn't wash my hair because obviously, you just had surgery and you've got this wounds that are trying to heal, tiny little incisions, but nonetheless you need to keep them dry, you need to keep them clean, and you need to keep them free of any bacteria, so no washing or showering of the hair, blah, blah. So I thought, do you know what, after surgery I'm going to be a mess. So I'm going to buy some dry shampoo, it'll cheer me up. And I felt marvellous and did want to wash my hair, but it was like, I can't. So I took this dry shampoo with me. It's amazing because when you actually use it, it just gives thickness and texture. So yes, I used it in the hospital. My hair looked great. As in, I also, because in my hospital I could go out with my wristband on, not ill, are you? Just tucked my drain into my pocket, put my normal clothes on, and I went around the corner and at the back of the hospital, just at the back of the hospital, a little walk, there was a hairdresser, so I had my hair washed there, just because it made me feel better. I was in there, 6 days. So for me, it was like, well, I don't feel ill, but I can't bear it if my hair's stuck to my head, and after surgery, that's how it felt. But the find was that when my hair was thinning, by spraying in some dry shampoo or even talc, and I'm just showing the one that I've got to show you, which is Sephora. Okay, this is lovely. I have used different ones. I have to say this is the best I've ever used. It adds thickness. Your hair's feeling fuller, looks good. I don't like the feel of dry shampoo, I have to be honest, because you can kind of feels a bit powdery. You can't see that. It doesn't show that. It just adds so much volume and boom, so easy to shape. It's because you've got product in your hair. So if you are feeling as if your hair's a bit thin, these are kind of my recommendations of what I did and the difference it made to me. And of course, my wigs. Okay, so there's a collection of what I've used, and I didn't pop in the other two, the Redken, in this picture. It'd be a bit crowded. But if you want to go out and sort of, have your hair looking great, I would really recommend this volume range from anybody. I just happened to be able to get John Frieda, and I've stuck with it because it worked for me, and it was worth every penny. And to be honest, again, when you've not got much hair, you don't need that much shampoo or conditioner. Don't overwash your hair, don't overload your hair, and do make sure that you are doing what's right for you. So I hope that helps, folks. Just a little tip of having your roots a bit darker. That will make you look, as if your hair's fuller. Using that serum, I use that on the crown, and that creates that look. See, you can see what I mean. As my highlights, but I am really quite blonde, and it is cut into my neck quite short. Can actually see, yeah. But if you've just got it kind of just one colour, again, it can make it look incredibly thin when you haven't got much. And as I said, new hair growing back here. I didn't stop colouring it. I didn't stop highlighting it. I styled it. I don't use flat irons. It's just a blow dry for me. And in Turkey here, a blow dry is ridiculously cheap. It really is. It's about £3 to £5 to have your hair washed and blow dried. It's just that I'm not near my hairdresser. Otherwise, I think I'd be there and enjoying that very much. One day I will actually take you along to the hairdressers with me. I'll make a video about that because it's quite an art watching them do your hair here in Turkey. Amazing how they actually put things together, even if I don't feel myself having roots and sort of hair colour done, and I'm styling it. Watching them do other people's and how they blow dry it is an absolute art. Well, folks, that brings me to the end of this. I hope that answered a little bit about hair loss, take your biotin, products that I used, the treatments, and the products to make the hair look good and white. I will actually get the wigs out. Do have a look at Patty's Pals. Do have a look at Sugar Puff and Fluff. She's lovely. Look at her wig reviews. I've got loads of wigs to show you. I'm happy to do that. And as I said, I didn't pay a fortune for mine because I bid for a couple on eBay. I kid you not, brand new wig. Not the colour I wanted, but it was for a Halloween party. It was brunette. That was £10. I then went on and I paid for a wig by John Renaud, and that's beautiful. It's very much like my own hair, a little bit longer, and I had longer wigs, so they're a lot of fun. We do a lot of things here for charity, so they've come in handy to dress up when we're doing a show for maybe raising some money for the village children for whatever they need, or for the animals here in Turkey, which I am heavily involved in. Please do remember that you can always buy me a cup of coffee if you want to support me, but most of all, please do subscribe. I really would like you to give me your support by subscribing to the channel so that I can continue to make good content for you. I hope you get on well with the biotin. I'm now, every day at this stage, I take an anti-acid tablet, and I've stopped with the biotin, but do get your biotin too. Just pop that back on screen for you. That's what I took. You're welcome to keep taking it throughout, but I found, or I felt, or I read somewhere, and my dietitian also gave me that advice. There was lots of information that I got. Probably more helpful to do a month of taking it, your 30 days, give yourself a break of 2 weeks to 4 weeks, and start it again. Otherwise, your body's not had a break from it, and it's not that it does any harm, but it stops doing any good. Okay, so if you want any more info about some of the things that you'd like me to talk about, please do pop it in the comment box below. Nobody's given me a comment today. I feel there's a few watching. I've got some thumbs up and some happy faces. So over and out for me. Questions and answers next week, whatever you want it to be. And there's a lot coming up. I just wanted to kind of streamline it to one, so you've got everything. So I'll try and pick something next week. I might actually show you the wigs. Please do have a look at Zoom. Doctors are there, and even if it's not right for you, you might be able to one day, somebody asks you, you can recommend my doctors or my surgeons, simply because they've been helpful, been kind enough to give up their very free time and make content there for you, and not hassle anybody or drive anybody into anything, but to give you an idea that you can talk to them. Because it's hard, they're doing surgery and they know that you want to have your questions answered. So we thought this was a great way. I teamed up with them and been begging them for ages to do a video with me, but they've been so busy. And then when they've not been able to do surgery because of this virus, it's been a case of they're at home with their families, and that time's precious. And so it's never been a right time. They've got children around them, and their families, and they work very long hours. So we thought this was a great way of actually bringing us all together. The dietitians, the nutritionists, people that are actually booked for surgery with them, are having their questions answered. So it's a Zoom meeting, and we're inviting you to join in, and where you can take part and ask your questions. The kind of things, what about aftercare? What about follow-up? And how's it done? And what if this? And what kind of tests do you have? And all that. Okay, so join us Wednesday, 7:30. I believe last time we had 38 people. I think there's a maximum of 40 on Zoom. So the quicker you actually ask us for the info, first come, first serve. That was without advertising very much at all last time. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.